Hi, everybody. Welcome to Music Matters. I'm your host, Harry. Today we have with us JessXtine and the Chaos Queens. Did I say that right?
JessXtine and the Chaos Queens.
JessXtine and the Chaos Queens. Okay. And you are?
I'm Jess.
Okay. And you are?
I'm Michael.
You are?
And I'm Dylan.
Okay. And so, Dylan, you're the manager.
Yes, sir.
And Jess, you're the singer, guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael is the jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Playing drums tonight.
Yeah. Playing drums tonight.
Yeah.
Guitar.
Yeah.
Bass.
And I understand you guys are looking to add a couple people to your
We're
lineup.
looking for permanent members.
Okay. All right. Looking for
Bass player and a drum player because he'll be on lead guitar.
I'm more of a guitar player. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So tell me, JessXtine, how where'd the name come from?
So I was a couple years ago. I was like trying to find a name for myself because I've been playing solo before I met him, and I thought it was kind of cool to combine my first name and my middle name, which is Christine.
Okay.
Like I kind of like stole the name from Charlie XCX.
I gotcha.
I thought JessXtine sounded cool, so I just went with that.
Gotcha. So you're Brad.
Yeah, I'm a brat. Exactly, he gets it.
Yes.
Got it.
Michael knows.
A little bit.
Awesome. So how long you been playing? You said you played solo for a while, so.
Playing live
Mhm.
for a little over a year,
Okay.
and playing guitar since I taught myself in middle school,
Okay.
and I'm about to be 35, so it's been a while.
Okay. All right. And Michael, the master of all these different instruments. What's your background?
Well, I've been playing guitar since I was in like second or third grade. So since I was like maybe like 7 or 8. So grew up playing guitar, and then in high school I started playing saxophone. So I played alto and tenor all through middle school, high school, while still playing guitar, you know. And I had my own band in high school. We played a few shows out in Tampa, Florida. That's where I'm from. I just moved here from Florida. So,
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, back in July I moved out here. So, but yeah, so I had my own band, wrote songs for that band. We played a couple of there's this promoter out there called Guerrilla Music. They're pretty big out there, but they had like a battle of bands thing. We went on to the next couple rounds for it, and after that I went to college for music production.
Okay.
So I did that, and then I've been working like the last I guess since, let's see, like 2019, I've been playing in like cover bands and doing like audio for theaters and corporate events for, there's a theater out in St. Pete called the Palladium Theater.
Mm-hmm.
They've had a lot of people come through there that I've helped run sound for. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. You still play sax?
Oh yeah, I do. I play everything: sax, drums.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, his brother's got a band, and I think he's might be looking for a sax player.
Oh, okay.
And he plays bass, so maybe you guys can talk.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
That's his bass that's over there. That matches the color of your guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that when I came in. I was like, cool.
Yeah, that was the first thing that I saw whenever I walked in.
Yeah.
We're at the right place.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. This is a music sanctuary, so to speak. So, so tell me, what is? I always have to ask the question, since we were talking about ghosts in the machine tonight.
Yeah.
Since couldn't get the coffee maker to work, couldn't get the mics to work right, couldn't get tell me about the worst experience that you had performing or on the road.
You go first.
You need to go first. Worst experience. Oh, okay. I guess it wasn't the worst experience, but it did kind of suck. I had a residency as my own solo act at I think it was the Sheraton on the Tampa Riverwalk.
Mm-hmm.
So they had me there for 2 months. And one of the days I went out to play, it's just like in the middle of my set, it started pouring. It started pouring, and like it was outside by the pool. So I had to like quickly, unplug everything, cut power first. You don't want power in water. And then I had to pull all the gear inside. They had their ballroom area, like their like lobby to the ballroom area near that. That's where I was like kind of near. So I like put everything in there first, and then I went and talked to the manager, and I was like, "Can I set up in front of the cafe that they have?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, as long as you're not super loud." And I was like, "Okay, perfect, that works." And so I had to haul all the gear. It was like my amp, my PA speakers, I had my electric and my acoustic pedal board. And yeah. At least I didn't have drums, and that would have been worse. So yeah.
Jess?
I have to say this one gig I played at Diamond Gems, I just had like a creepy guy that kept yelling at me while I was playing. And it was very distracting and making me uncomfortable.
You're getting heckled.
Yeah.
Getting heckled.
That's the worst I can think of.
No breakdowns on the way to a gig or anything like that?
Not really. No.
Mental breakdowns don't count.
Well, when I was younger, I played at my high school. And somebody unplugged my mic. And that's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Somebody unplugged my mic, and it was for like a talent show or whatever. And they're like, "I can't hear you."
That's what you just take.
And then my choir teacher, she taught us to keep the show going. And I kept singing, and they're just like, I'm like, I don't know what to do.
That's why you take the mic and you
Yeah.
throw it as hard as you can at the person who will play it.
So I just kept playing guitar and then trying to sing as loud as I could. And
How big a room?
it was the whole
The whole school?
cafeteria.
Yeah.
The whole school was very embarrassing. But then they made up for it and let me play. Like on the very last day of school, we had like this fair outside, and I got to play by myself.
That's cool.
awesome. Yeah.
That's a good makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've had several bands that have come in and had stories of trying to carry large cabs up very narrow stairs onto a rickety stage.
Or being halfway in their set and seeing their car get towed away.
Oh wait,
Oh,
we
man.
actually we just played in the Bishop Arts on the balcony at a restaurant. And we didn't have the extension cord.
Oh yeah, there's that.
That was
We didn't have an
horrible.
extension cord.
We
so
had to
we like set
rig
everything
everything
up.
up.
Yeah, set everything up, and then when we got the extension cord, the only the only plug for power was like up this ladder that I had to climb and plug into the side of the building. It was like
going all over the place. It was loud.
So I had to climb up the ladder to plug it in.
And we had to get a cord long enough to like go all the way down because what was it, the one on the balcony didn't work.
Oh yeah. So I climbed up the ladder, plugged it in. We went to test everything, didn't work, and so we had to unplug it. And the manager was like, "Well, there's a plug all the way down on the second floor outside."
Down there, we're like,
So
way at the top of the
okay,
balcony.
so now it's like going way at the bottom, and I have to
that was actually
fish it
probably
down
the
to-
worst.
worst.
It was exhausting.
Blake
trying
had
to
a
get-
pretty good one. We were supposed to play at Six Springs, and he's playing with the band. He's drumming, and he he gives me the.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so you have to get all this gear ready, right? And you're just like, do I have this? Do I have this? Yeah, I got that. I got that. Cool, we're good to go. Then I get there and I'm just like, I don't have my drumsticks.
That's
Oh.
happened. That's happened to me so many times.
Yeah. Okay. You want to know what I do
man.
now? I have a pair of drumsticks that just stays in my car.
That's smart.
It
That's
will
smart.
not move.
You can do that.
It's like in the pocket right behind the driver's seat of my car. So I won't have to deal with that problem again. So just in case if the worst comes to worst and like I don't have drumsticks, because I tell them it's like, Dad, I don't have my drumsticks. Can you go to like Guitar Center and pick me up some?
And I'm like, you had one job.
Yeah, I had to do that. I was playing a show in Clearwater, Florida, and I lived in St. Pete. So I got there and set up everything, and then I realized I didn't have drumsticks, and so I had to go to Guitar Center down the street while my guitar player played and sang. That happens,
You go to the
Actually,
wall.
I forgot my drum throne at one show before too. That sucked. So then
Hey,
you
you
had
can
to-
play standing.
yeah, or like a chair, like a bar chair.
I've seen that one before. Yeah.
Yeah,
That one's no good.
yeah, no,
Because then you got the chairs like wobbling,
Yeah,
scooting
exactly.
back, and
yeah,
Yeah, that's why especially drummers have to look out. Because you start to tear down, and then who's the first to go? It's the vocalist. They're
yeah.
like, all right,
yeah.
I'm done. Then your guitarist leaves you hanging, so then you're still stuck there. An hour after it, and then half the time it's either the drummer or the bassist is also like their primary. Like the band's primary sound tech guy. So you're also like having to unplug all the extra audio equipment. And you're just like, guys, please don't go. Please help me.
Yeah.
and they're already halfway home.
Yeah, they're already halfway home. They're like, I just had an amazing gig. I'm about to go to bed. They go to bed. You're finally rolling in 2 a.m. and you're just like, I hate my life. And it starts to rain as you're taking all your stuff
Yeah.
back in. And you're just like, kill me now.
I think it's worse for the sound guy though. He gets home at 4, sometimes
Yes.
6 in the morning, then has to be back at 8. That's been my life sometimes.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
running shows because the band gets to leave,
Oh
and
yeah.
then you have to pack up all the audio.
We did a show for another production company. They had unfortunately the venue that they were planning on doing their event at canceled on them last minute.
Oh, wow.
And they didn't have a place to go. I knew another place to go, but the place that I knew didn't have sound,
Mhm.
but we do. So we said,
Yeah,
we'll rent you the equipment and we'll set it all up for you. We were there until like at least 2 hours after
Exactly.
everybody else left.
Exactly.
At least I don't even know.
Well, part of it's also you're just trying to wait so people can clear out. It's 'cause
To move stuff, yeah, exactly.
Well, you're just like, dude, you need to move the fuck out
Yeah.
the way, man. But you can't say that. Okay? You can't say
Yeah.
that, which is, it's kind of sucks. So you kind of, hey, dude, yeah, can you hurry up so I can, so, and they're like, oh yeah, sure, dude. They go to the bar, they have another 3 drinks, and you're still sitting there wanting to choke them. It's like, move already.
So, what style of music are you?
Who was it? Was it you
Yeah.
that labeled it as grunge pop?
Grunge pop. Okay, so
I like that. I kind of want to stick with that.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. So, what is grunge pop? Give me some of who your influences are that you think fit into kind of that category.
It's definitely my favorite band, Garbage.
Garbage. Okay.
Man, they sound like trash.
Dad jokes.
Dad jokes for real.
The band Bush.
Mm-hmm.
Nirvana, no doubt. Deftones. Who else? Who's the major one that for Hole? Yes, Hole.
Oh, okay.
So Paramore.
Oh yeah.
There's so many.
I'm just gonna say, like, the first thing that conjured up in my mind when you said grunge pop was like, Dave Grohl wearing something that like Ariana Grande or Sabrina
That's always a possibility.
Dave Grohl with a big ponytail.
Like
Dave Grohl with a ponytail.
I mean, I dress
Like a
like
Big
Kurt
Me,
Cobain
the video for Big Me.
sometimes. Like,
Dave Grohl in
I
booty
was-
shorts.
I was wearing like this green plaid
It's funny.
shirt, button-up shirt yesterday, and I kind of like tucked one side in so it would show a little midriff, and then I had like some like jeans on with like a pyramid belt, and then like I had like Converse with heels on them. So I kind of do dress like girly
Very,
Dave
like-
Grohl sometimes. I guess
Girly Dave Grohl.
depends on my mood.
I didn't know they made Converse with heels.
They do,
Really?
and it's very beneficial for short people like me.
Vertically challenged.
So yeah,
Are they like thick heels like those, or are they pointy heels, or what?
I mean they're platforms like
They're
that,
platforms.
but they're like about half the size of these.
Hmm.
But it helps.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I'm wearing like baggy jeans and
Uh-huh.
you can't tell there's a heel.
Yeah.
So people think I'm tall and not 5'3".
I'm always like terrified of short people because like
What?
I'll tell you why. I will tell you why. Especially like short men. It's mostly short men, but also to women who are like on the shorter side too. They're just more angry. Like
Short men definitely are. I don't know about
Napoleon?
girl.
they're
Yeah,
angry.
Napoleon
They're angry.
complex.
Hot
yeah.
takes.
No. They have like the anger that's proportional to somebody who's like 10'3", all condensed down in a small 5'3" package. So they're about to like explode. You remember how was it last year started off with the dude jumping over to like tackle the judge?
Oh
Oh,
God!
I remember that.
Yeah, they're like that. Any moment's notice, you say something wrong, and they're like coming for you. They'll bite your head off.
We just lost the under 5'3" demographic.
We're like, I guess we're like little chihuahuas.
Don't get me started on chihuahuas.
You know that Steve Martin did a song, right? Short people have no reason to live.
Oh, what? That's a song?
I think
That's
I've heard that.
horrible.
Yeah.
Lord.
Dude, okay, I'm gonna have to start sending that to some friends. No, I'm not saying that you should kill yourself, but
Oh.
I'm actually gonna do that right now. I know exactly who to send it to too. That's the funny part.
And how tall is she?
I don't know, but it's like, well, there's a dude that I know, and then there's a girl that I know that would be pretty funny to send it to, because I remember the girl that I'm thinking of, like I met her in my class, so like most of the time I talk to her like it would be when we're sitting down, right? So then a whole semester passes by, and then I don't realize how short she is. So one time I'm just like waiting outside the class, and both of us are standing, and then I see her. It's like, I didn't realize you were this short.
You know how many times I've heard
funny.
that
It's like
because
an
of my Converse heels, and when I randomly come in with like regular Converse,
Right.
like you're short. I'm like, go away.
So do you know like those little inserts that you can put into your shoes to like add an inch of height?
Mhm.
I saw like a short on YouTube of this one dude just trying to fuck with his buddies, which I always agree with is like an excellent reason to do anything. Just to
I agree with that too.
So what he did is, he said hi to his buddy, then he went away. Then he put one of the inserts in. He said hi, and kept doing that to see when his buddy would notice. And like you could tell his buddy could tell something was off. So something's different. He doesn't realize until he has like 4 or 5 of them, and like his foot's barely sticking in his shoe. It's like, oh, you're taller now.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I've got a really good friend who's 6'7", and so I spend most of my conversation talking to him like this.
Oh, my
I got-
children's father is 6'7", so I look like a little girl standing next to him.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends back in Florida who are over 6 feet, and I would drive a lot, right?
Uh-huh.
And so they would be in my Camaro, and sometimes I would I would have someone 6 foot in the back seat, like scrunched up in the back of my Camaro, like because there's really no back seat back there. It's pretty funny. They're like sitting with their knees up.
The Jolly Green Giant back there.
Well, that's what Christy's cars is a Mustang, and
there's like no back seat. Yeah.
well, there's a back seat there, but it's really a purse holder
Yeah.
more than anything else. 'Cause
I've squeezed back there.
I know you have. I have two, believe it or not. Although it was a squeeze.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, it's because your feet have to because your knees are touching the front. Like,
Oh no, I had
you
to
have to get as far back, and you might have to pull.
Oh no, I had to sit sideways. I had to sit sideways.
Yeah. And then you gotta stick your feet under the chair as it rolls back, and you're just like, dude, if this flips or if we go down into a lake, I'm done. I'm cooked.
Yeah. Or like whenever they would get out of the back, my friends would say it's like I'm being birthed all over again, like coming out of the car.
I remember seeing a video of somebody found just Shaq driving a smart car or something. So you take one of the somebody who is known for being just a big dude, and you put him in a goofy tiny car.
Yeah.
Did he have to take the seat out in order to fit?
That's it.
I'm almost 100% sure you have to. That's
One of those cars, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I know, for Fast and the Furious, when The Rock would be driving some of the sports car, they would have to take in the front seat because he was just so big, and he would sit in that rear bucket seat because
that's funny.
he was just too big for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like airline seats too.
Yeah.
Those are uncomfortable.
Well, there's Ryanair in Europe, which wants to do the standing seats.
Oh, no.
wow.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. The CEO's reasoning for it was actually really good because he was because it's a budget airline, and they'll have their flights for 50 pounds if we're being British, right?
Mhm.
For a seat, but he's you can do that for the seats, or you can sell them for $1 for standing, and I guarantee you that the standing room will always fill up first.
She's probably right.
You know what? I would deal with a 2-hour flight standing if it's cheap as shit.
Yeah, but then you got to pay $5 for air.
You have to,
You want a seatbelt? That's an extra $7. Oh, bathroom, $10.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's why I became a pilot. I can fly myself. We're in a plane.
Finally.
myself.
Oh, you're a pilot.
I am.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you fly?
Cessnas right now. Cessnas, Cherokees, single engine land right now. I'm finishing up my commercial license.
Okay. All right.
I'll have that within the next few months. So
That's cool.
So Michael is a prodigy.
He's the drummer pilot
Slash guitar player.
/ guitar player.
So have you heard there is this one dude named Johnny Kim, right? Not to be confused with Johnny Sins, but their career, some of the stuff that you hear about, you might get them confused.
Hmm.
So this guy named Johnny Kim, he grew up in poverty, and then he eventually enlisted into the Navy. He became a Navy SEAL. After doing that, he became a doctor. Now he's currently an astronaut.
Wow.
So that's what I really call it.
Actually, I've heard of this
Step
guy.
your game up, Michael. Come on.
Well, astronaut will be my end game. That's my end game.
Yeah, that's
It's
the end game? Okay. Yeah, you can make it.
Musician, astronaut,
Oh,
playing the first festival in space. That's
There you go.
that's the goal.
I'm sure there will be one.
Absolutely.
Well, there almost was. There was that one billionaire who's trying to, fund SpaceX. I think it was called Thank You Moon or something like that. And his whole idea was he was gonna, pay for, I think it was 10, different people to go up with him, and most of them being artists too. Unfortunately, he pulled out funding from that, so that's not going to happen. And one of my, because I'm a space nerd, right? And one of my favorite YouTubers, he actually got offered a seat on that to go to the moon as a private citizen just from being a YouTuber. But it's not happening, so I'm upset he's forgetting.
Well, so the most remote concert was in Antarctica. And they've done it a couple of times, and it's for like the base that's down there, 50 people, and they had big bands like, I'm not sure if it was Metallica or whoever it was, but they've had a couple of concerts that are like.
I wonder if they had a Taylor Swift tribute band there.
I'm guessing not.
The reason why that's funny, is, at least for me and him, is because my drum set professor is in a Taylor Swift tribute band.
Oh,
yeah.
A drum set professor playing Taylor Swift, like that's pretty funny. You would think that's like way below his skill level. Like,
I mean, it is. He's usually one of the best drummers in the U.S. But because he's killing it as a working drummer. He's making a really good living off of it. But yeah, it's called the band's called Lover, and DFW.
Nice.
So that's what he plays in, and I went to go see him once. They're so good. I'm not a Swiftie. I don't like that music, but man, like they did a really good job. So it's just like I'll just see him again.
Favorite concerts?
No favorite concerts. Saw the Chili Peppers. That was
yeah,
awesome.
they are good.
Yeah, the Chili Peppers live were awesome. I saw them at Amalie Arena in Tampa, and I had floor seats, and so I saw them like really
I saw
close.
them here in Dallas, and
yeah, they were good.
Except,
I think at the concert they played in Tampa, I think Anthony Kiedis was probably drunk because he forgot some of the words to some of his songs, and then so like I'm watching him and I'm singing because I know all the words because I cover them a lot. And then he forgets the words, and I'm like, he forgot the words, and I'm
trying to mouth them to him.
Well, no, it was funny because Chad Smith, like you know how they have them like projected on the huge screens, right? Chad Smith was playing, and he was like, "Come on, Anthony!" Like, yeah, that was funny, and I love that.
Have you seen some of those videos from like the '80s of all the like hair metal guys, and you can tell that they're on something. Like I remember seeing a video of just Slash like.
Definitely did a lot of coke back in there.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, my favorite concert was when I got the Bush concert we just went to. I ran right up to Gavin Rossdale and I grabbed him like this, and I walked with him like this, like I was his girlfriend for like 5 minutes. And then he finally he's like, I gotta run back to the stage. I was like, wait,
take me with you.
He got that on video. He ran up behind. I was like, how did you keep up with me?
That's cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
We just saw Stained, Breaking Benjamin, Lakeview, and Daughtry.
Oh, that would have been
at Dos Equis. That was an amazing concert. That was Stained is Christy's favorite band, and I like them a lot.
They're good. I saw them a few years ago.
Yeah,
and I've seen Breaking Benjamin. They're good too.
It was a great concert, but for me, my favorites were Rush and Pink Floyd. Those were my first two concerts.
So I, back in Florida, we got my band. It was really me and my this cover band I was in. They're like some of my best friends, but like we would all switch instruments because we all played everything. So sometimes I would be on guitar and singing, and sometimes he would be on drums, and then we'd switch. But so we were playing one night at this club called Club 201 in downtown St. Pete, and Britt Floyd, right, one of the best Pink Floyd cover bands, had walked into the bar, and they were sitting at the bar, and then we played some Pink Floyd, covers. We didn't know who they were, but after they came up to us and they were like, that was amazing. And like, so whenever we play songs, at least with that band, we wouldn't ever really play them like the originals. We would always like put a twist on them and like do our own thing with them. And like, so they came up to us and offered us VIP tickets to their show.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And so we went to the show, and we went to the pre-show thing where they played a few songs before, And then we got to go backstage after the show and hang out with like all the vocalists and everyone in the band, the main guy who, you know, puts the show on. And he told us that he has approval from David Gilmour to do all the arrangements and the show.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was one of the best experiences I've had. Like, yeah.
You ever heard of the Tauntauns from Houston?
Kind of vaguely familiar. I don't
think that's
I
one
know.
of the best concerts
Yeah.
last year. They hadn't played in like a long time.
Yeah.
But they're my favorite like band from Texas, aside from the Toadies. But that's like one of the best concerts I ever went to. It was like they had like a reunion show.
Yeah.
And it was like sold out.
Wow.
And I got to talk to Ashley. She's a singer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, do you remember me? I saw you in 2014. She's like, I do remember you. And so actually, like, I cover some of their songs sometimes.
That's cool.
They're so good.
Do you ever, like, have you ever had, like, just an absolutely crazy batshit, experience where you're just like, that fucking happened?
Yeah, the story I told you about Gavin Ross too.
Yeah.
Or like
any other good ones?
recently, we went to see Dashboard Confessional.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah, we went to the Dashboard Confessional concert, and
This
after,
crazy guy
yeah.
made us wait
Yeah, so
outside of the...
yeah, after the show,
Yeah.
it was at the Toyota Music Pavilion, right? Or the Music Factory,
Yep.
right? And so we parked in the garage that's kind of facing where all the tour buses park.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were walking back to the car, and I was like,
He was mad because he couldn't get a pic from, like, throwing
yeah,
off the
they were
stage.
throwing stuff, and I was like, oh man, it was for my birthday too.
Mm-hmm.
And
I felt
so
bad.
actually
I had to work.
they actually threw a pic towards me, but then it fell in between like the security bars and like it was the worst. I was like, oh man.
He was so
But,
upset. And then he was like, what if we wait outside the tour bus
So,
gate?
yeah.
And I was like,
We
I
saw
got
like
work in the morning.
we saw a couple people waiting there, and then I was like, you know what? I always carry my acoustic guitar with me. It's always in my car, right? And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go grab it, and I'm gonna see if he can sign it. And so
I thought you were gonna like use it to try to sneak in.
that's a good idea.
We had been there for like almost 2 hours, and I'm like, dude, let's go. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait just a little bit longer. And I felt bad because it was his
Yeah.
birthday, and I was like, okay.
So I had my guitar, and then we
Chris.
saw Chris come out.
Finally came out.
Yeah, he finally came out, and he was talking to some guy about the tour bus. And he was wearing a hat, and I recognized him because he had this specific shirt with this like
Yeah, and he was-
logo
Miss
on it.
Chris!
And I was like,
With
"That's Chris."
Will you sign my
And so-
guitar?
yeah, I was like, I ran up to the gate, and I was like, "Chris, can you sign my
Crazy.
guitar?"
And then he starts playing
Yeah.
the song towards him, and he's like, oh boy.
No, it was really cool. He came out, and he was super nice, like one of the nicest musicians.
Oh, he signed
I
my
met.
arm
Really nice,
right here, and I got this. Well, I need to get it touched up, but I got it
Yeah.
tattooed
That's
the
cool.
next day.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he took my guitar and he started playing it. I thought that was even cooler than him signing the back of the headstock, like him like actually jamming on it. That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a great birthday present. So.
Sounds like
Yeah.
it sounds like a great birthday.
Yeah. It was.
So, where can people find your music?
Right now, I have it on Instagram and TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on getting it on Spotify
Okay.
at the moment.
What's your handle?
Do you want me to?
Yeah.
Say
Yeah, right
like
here.
the
Yeah.
what is it? It's JessX. You can find her under JessXtine 07, I think, on Instagram,
Okay.
and then on TikTok. Can you look at my TikTok?
Yeah. Right
it's different.
on it.
I don't want to say the wrong.
That's on Instagram or TikTok or both?
TikTok, and then on Instagram. Shouldn't have any sound on this. Yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those were her songs that you were playing, right?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Perfect. Well, guys, thanks for being with us here tonight. Really appreciate having you here. Can't wait to see you perform, and we'll hopefully be seeing you guys performing soon.
Thank you so much
Absolutely.
for
Yeah, thank you for having us.
here.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you
you.
for all your hospitality
Yeah.
and for having us here. We really appreciate the
Yeah.
opportunity to work with you all.
Appreciate you guys.
And your room's so cool. Purple's my favorite color.
Yes.
It is
I was
mine
very
too.
excited walking in here and everything's purple.
Mine's black, so that's the secondary color. I like
Yeah.
that. So.
And I got both on the shirt.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks a bunch. We'll see you soon.
All right.
All right.